afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, February 24, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having a time for change call this Wednesday night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk about some things concerning the celestial chamber, concerning the transition of a democratic government into a constitutional republic government, and where America is going. When we plumb the moment, this moment, not back then, not the future, but this moment, we get deeper and deeper and deeper into the universal heart of being. Finally, being in the moment blossoms into everything and nothing. It's all in this moment. This moment is always here. Now is eternal. That joy that you get from being completely in the moment brings contentment. Contentment as a practice is different from satisfaction. It's not a feeling of accomplishment from doing something. Contentment is just being complete in the moment. Burrow into the moment, and you're in the moment. Here we are in the moment. If something is taking you out of the moment, then most likely you say, what am I doing here? Or, what is it that blocks my contentment? It's raining. Doesn't rain make me content? The flowers are so grateful. The rain is just beautiful. Little drops on the window. They're each like little globes. And now I'm content. I'm content to take a nap without thinking I should be doing something else, which most people get caught up in. I'm even content to have a broken hip that's healing. It's part of the body growing old, but I am just here. If I am my soul, when I look at others, I see other souls. I still see the individual differences, men and women, rich and poor, attractive and unattractive, and all that stuff. But when we recognize each other as souls, we are seeing each other as aspects of the one. Love is the emotion of merging, of becoming one. Love is a way of pushing through into the one. We treat love and hate and the other emotions like they are all on the same level, but they're not. Hate, fear, lust, greed, jealousy, all that comes from the ego, only loves comes from the soul. When we identify with our soul, we live in a loving universe. The soul loves everybody. It's like the sun. Brings out the beauty in each of us. We can feel it in our heart. One thing that Maharishi said, quoted, love everyone and tell the truth. How many people tell the truth on this planet? At that time, you could only touch that place for occasional moments. It's there, it's not, it's there, it's not. Love everyone and tell the truth. In other words, become a soul. Learn the art of taking your stand on the truth within. When you live in this truth, the result is the fusion of the mind and the heart and the end of all fears and sorrow. It is not a dry attainment of mere power or intellectual knowledge. A love which is illuminated by the intuitive wisdom of the Spirit will deeply, eternally love your life with ever-renewing fulfillment and never-ending sweetness. Mahar Baba. One might ask, how do you stay in touch with your soul? Well, by dwelling in the moment. The soul is centered in your heart. It is the heart-mind. Do your daily acts with love. That's what the soul can do. When you are identified with your soul, you not only reflect God's light, but you also become a mirror for others to find their souls. The only goal a soul has is to satisfy God and become one with the beloved. Everything is as it should be. Now, when we say satisfy God, the point is that God is always satisfied because we are all God and we make up the one, His pure consciousness. So there's not really a satisfying God. Now, when you say you surrender to the one, you surrender to the God that you are. The one makes this moment perfectly fulfilled. You go inside for peace. You go inside for compassion. You go inside for wisdom. You go inside for joy. You go inside for love. How did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all of its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Hafat. How do we become loving awareness? Now, if you were to change your identification from the ego to the soul, then as you look at people, they all appear like souls to you. You change from your head the thought of who I am to my spiritual heart, which is a different sort of awareness, feeling directly, intuiting, loving awareness. It's changing from a worldly outer identification to a spiritual inner identification. Concentrate on your spiritual heart right in the middle of your chest. Keep repeating the phrase, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. You begin to love people because they just are. You see the mystery of this divine in form. When we live in love, we see love everywhere we look. We are literally in love with everyone we look at. When that starts to happen, as we fall in love with everyone we meet, you may think you want to collect them all. So you get one and you say, let's nest. And you get furniture and other stuff and you make a nest. You go out to the supermarket, you get stuff. You look into the eyes of the person at the checkout counter. The eyes are the windows of the soul. So you look. And there's your beloved too. Now where are you going? What are you going to do? You've already got one at home. Do you say, have you considered a ménage de trois? You have to graduate from a deprivation to an abundance model. It's abundant because you are it. You are radiating love wherever you go. As you become love, when you walk down the street, everyone is the most beautiful being all over again. You look and appreciate. You might meet another's eyes, and you both recognize the love, but you don't have to do anything about it. The art form of relationship is to realize that every relationship you are in, every relationship at every moment, is a vehicle for awakening love. And it's up to you. The beloved is everywhere. Don't go outside your house to see flowers, my friend. Don't bother with the excursion inside your body. There are flowers. One flower has 1,000 petals. That will do for a place to sit. Sitting there, you will have a glimpse of beauty inside the body and out of it, before gardens and after gardens. Kabir, a place to sit. A soul takes a human birth in order to have a series of experiences through which it will awaken out of its illusion of separateness. This physical experience of being incarnated is the curriculum and the purpose of the Course, is to awaken us from the illusion that we are the incarnation. Spiritual practices are tools to help us accomplish these goals. We all start from innocence, and we return to innocence. A sage was asked, "How long have we been on this journey?" He replied, "Imagine a mountain 3 miles wide, 3 miles high, and 3 miles long. Once every 100 years, a bird flies over the mountain holding a silk scarf in its beak, which it brushes across the surface of the mountain. And the time it takes for the scarf to wear away the mountain, that's how long we've been doing this. We are on an inevitable course of awakening. Inevitable. When you understand that message deeply, it allows us to enter into our spiritual practices from a different perspective, one of patience and timelessness. We do our practices not out of a sense of duty or because we think we should, but because we know in our soul there really is nothing else we would rather be doing. In Sanskrit, this is called the Vairagya, a state of weariness with worldly desire, where only the desire for spiritual fulfillment is left. Spiritual pull is the last desire, one that really grabs you, but that dissolves on its own because you dissolve in the process. The Tao says, in the end, you will be like the valley, which is the favorite resort of the way. You become receptive, become soft, become open, become attuned, become quiet. You become the ocean of love. The soul is made of love and must ever strive to return to love. It can never find rest nor happiness in other things. It must lose itself in love. In the end, all our other desires merge into the immense longing to have no barrier between us and our real beloved, which is the soul. Inside the soul is the God. Time is a box. formed by thoughts of the past and future. When there is only the immediate now, when you're not dwelling in the past or anticipating the future, but you are just right here, right now. You're outside of time. Dwelling in the moment is dwelling in the soul, which is eternal presence. When we're outside of time, there's no subject or object. It's all just here. The thinking mind deals only with subject and object. But from within here, now, you watch time go by. You are not being in time. You be, and time goes by. As if you were standing on a bridge and watching it all go by. Ours is a journey toward simplicity, toward quietness, toward a kind of joy that is not in time. In this journey out of time to nowhere, we are leaving behind every model we have had of who we thought we were. This journey involves a transformation of our being so that our thinking mind becomes our servant rather than our master. It's a journey that takes us from primary identification with our psyche to identification with our souls. Then to identification with God. And ultimately beyond any identification at all. This life is an incredible curriculum in which we live richly and passionately as a way of awakening to the deepest truths of our being. As a soul, we have only one motive, to merge with God. And since we are God, isn't it ironic? We seek to merge with God. Merging with God is the awareness that one is the God. Accepting that and embracing the God. And as a soul, we live in the moment. In each rich and precious moment, we are filled with contentment. So, we practice, and we practice, and we practice. Believe it or not, all the stuff around us is a mere illusion created for our entertainment and for us to experience. That's all it is. All of us create. This is what these meditations move us into. When you find a quiet place every day where you are not interrupted, you relax into your body, you're as still as a statue, you focus on your breath rising and falling. You practice that every day. You listen to your soul. You listen to the God that you are. You are. Now, most of us, we wander, right? The mind wanders. So what we do when we know the mind is wandering, because we are not the mind, we bring ourselves back to the self. And when the mind wanders again, we bring ourselves back to the self, to be more present, to open our heart, to learn to live from our spiritual heart. Practices are designed to put you back in touch with your true nature, the self. Polish the mirror of your mind and heart so they truly reflect the spirit. Most of us are enmeshed in this world, and we get lost very easily in the stuff of life. The daily practice is very useful to keep reminding you, to keep pulling you back and waking you up again, giving you a chance to see how you got lost the day before, and to keep putting what's happening to you in the world back into a spiritual perspective. We can tune to the spirit through a variety of practices. And these practices keep opening you in their own unique way. And you look for different practices. You try different methods. You are generous with yourself. There will be a method that will fit your unique karma. If you come to a practice with a pure heart and a learning to be free, it will reflect back the purity of your aspiration. And comprehend that spiritual practice isn't a way to achieve something or to get somewhere else, because we are already here. We do spiritual practices because we do spiritual practices, not to get to some other state, but to get in touch with who we already are, to clear the dust from the mirror, to come more fully into the present moment. Whether we will be free and enlightened now or in 10,000 births is not the point. What else is there to do? We can't stop doing them anyway. Once we awaken to the possibility of this universe within, it's like a gravitational force. Do not get trapped in your expectations. Spiritual practices can themselves become obstacles if you become too attached to them. Use these methods as consciously as you can, knowing that if they are truly working, eventually they will self-destruct. When we're all on this massive spiritual evolution, we're not on a material evolution, we're not on a physical evolution, we are not anything but a spiritual evolution on this planet at this time, in this now. And the spiritual evolution is what? What is it? What the heck is a spiritual evolution? We seek the God that we are. When we find the God that we are, we commune with that God. We surrender to that God. We merge. We become one with that God. And at that point of comprehension, the ego mind is no longer at the helm and has taken second space. It's pretty automatic. It isn't something that you place, that you move. It's something that you are. And when you recognize who and what you are, the mind becomes second place. You direct the mind instead of the mind directing you. You focus your thoughts on any direction you wish because they're your thoughts and you know they're your thoughts. And you use the ego mind to pinpoint. The universe manifests anything you focus on. It's common knowledge. We're moving out of fear. Okay? The reason we're moving out of fear as a species and a civilization is because we're moving more within. We no longer feel compelled to be outside. Now, obviously, we've done that for thousands of lifetimes. I think we got it. I think we all got it. I believe we all got it. As we all know, everything is a place, a position, a location, whether it be within you or anywhere for that matter, in this universe and beyond. And we are moving into a spiritual, a complete spiritual existence. Which means that we move out of the fear, out of expectations, out of attachments, and we free ourselves. Everything is love. Everything and nothing is love. And it is all within us. It's like I was saying earlier, you couple with someone and you do this and you do that and you do this, and then you come across someone else that you love, right? But you don't need to act upon it. This is what happens, is the confusion on this planet. We don't comprehend the fact that everything is love. We get it a little mixed up. So we see another that we love. It doesn't mean you know them, right? You see them and you love them. We have a tendency to mix that with romantic love. And actually romantic love is a very tiny portion of deep eternal love. But we get that mixed up a lot. It's not a negative. We just get it mixed up because we don't know who and what we are. How do you believe you would be when that time comes, when you have moved into the now, into the heart-mind permanently? Do you think any of us will actually couple? Or will we all love ourselves and everything and everyone else? Interesting question. Because we are love of who and what we are in these bodies. But we seek love, but we actually are love. And the love that we seek is outside of us. We feel it'll make us complete, right? Safe, secure, content. In actuality, that's what you already are within that body. We've been taught to seek everything outside of ourselves. Pretty much, for the most part. So you figure after generation to generation after generation, that's what we're doing. We're seeking, constantly seeking outside of ourselves. For instance, as Swami Chetananda made a statement, when you are with someone you love very much, you can talk and it is pleasant, but the reality is not in the conversation. It is simply in being together. Meditation is the highest form of prayer. In it, you are so close to God that you do not need to say a thing. It's just great to be together. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Your real power in this life does not come from money, prestige, material luxuries, or physical strength. These things can only be taken away from you. True power comes from that which is permanent. It is found by discovering that one thing that cannot change or be destroyed. Focus on that one thing which does not change or die in life. It is not far away. In fact, it's closer to you than your next thought. By accessing your real power, you are no longer a victim to issues from your past or trying to manage who you will become in the future. To find your real source of power, look inward to where the source of your consciousness is coming from. This subtle energetic fountain of bliss is who you are. Take this precious day today and explore who and what you truly are. Pay close attention to this infinite stream of consciousness and surrender to the flow of its permanent and unchanging awareness all day long. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, February 25, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening within you or outside of you, open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.